Hello everybody and welcome back. This is episode number 17 of the Vanarama YouTube channel. Football Manager 2018 experiment, Celtic and Rangers in the English League. Obviously we started off with the Vanarama, we're now up into the heights of the Championship, and this is now season number 9 that we're starting. Celtic have had a taster of the Premier League. This is as far as Rangers have got, but Celtic fell after 2 seasons in the Premier League. Rangers fell back for 2 years in the Sky Bet League 1. Rangers have managed to pull themselves back up, and they had a pretty poor season last year. They didn't ever look like they were going to go down, but they should have gone a bit higher. Celtic had an extremely poor season after a good start. So this time around, they're going to be looking at doing an awful lot better. I think Celtic need to sign players. They got the money. They got to get the players in. So, any early business from them? Well, yes, Robert Fernandes from Leeds. Now, they've sold a couple of players, Ross Wilson and Will Mannion, and that has mainly funded the Robert Fernandes transfer. And he is a 22-year-old defensive midfielder. The stats don't look too good, so he must be a potential sort of future player. So there we go, Robert Fernandes, Leeds. That's all the business the Celtic have done thus far. Rangers, after a season of pretty much mediocrity, well, for both of them really, don't have a captain as of yet, but Paul Clement is still the manager. Have they done any early business? Well, yes. Jacob Anyanwu from Bournemouth on a free, and Harry Lewis from Norwich. Whoever Harry Lewis is, he's 27 years old, he's a goalkeeper, he must be a backup. And Jacob Anyanwu is a striker, valued quite highly. Not very good finishing at all. Is his heading and jumping any good? Jumping is poor. He's not overly fast, so I don't quite get that one. Looks as though he was relegated with Shrewsbury in League One last season. Is that right? Career milestones relegated? Not last season, a few seasons ago. He hasn't, he played for Millwall last year. Scored 16 and 38, so that's not bad. So he's played, for 7 clubs, he's played 91 games and scored 35 goals. So you never know, he could do quite well for Rangers. I'm sceptical though. Okay, so Billy Mackenzie to Blyth Spartans and Tom King to Newport County. I don't think that's much really to worry about. So they haven't spent anything yet, but Rangers' money doesn't look too good, being as they're only on okay. But there's got to be a little bit in the kit. There's got to be enough to pick up 1 or 2 players that could make a real difference for them. But we'll see what kind of business they can conduct throughout this window. And let's have a look and see what kind of start that they both have. Let's take you guys to the 2nd of September. Rightio then, 2nd of September is in. Celtic in 7th place, 1-2 drawn 3, lost none. That's a good start really. A couple of draws, too many to start with maybe, but undefeated, one of only 2 teams. I suppose they're going to be happy with that. Rangers is sort of an equal board for them, 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. 2 losses away to Aston Villa and Middlesbrough are understandable. A draw away to Leeds, and then 2 wins at home. Yep, 2 3-1 wins at home. So that's a promising start for Rangers in a way, considering they've got 3 tough away games out of the way with early on, and the only 2 really winnable games, well, overly winnable games, they've actually won. So let's have a little look at what business they concluded in the transfer window. Celtic are still rich, so they haven't spent all their money. Let's hope they spent a good chunk still, though. They have £49 million, and they've got some loanees as well. So they're really making a stand now. I think they're going to push for it. The new manager is Glenn Johnson. So they've sold £11.75 million worth of players. So they've spent just under 38 million. So let's have a little look at some of these players. So we saw Robert Fernandes already. So Finley Harper, worth a bit of money, central midfielder, add a bit of depth to their squad. Ian Herbert, Left back, probably a backup, I'd imagine. Fred Bacot is a centre back, a young centre back. I can't imagine why he would get game time. He doesn't look the part, really. A striker on loan. Probably not going to get much game time. Probably a backup. So obviously he's Richard Middle. Sorry, no, he was a striker they bought. Sorry, from Everton, Richard Middleton. Eric Garcia from Sheffield Wednesday, centre back. Yeah. Michael Turner they've bought from Chesterfield, a 16-year-old. So look into the future. Hot prospect. Attacking central midfielder. John Digger, I think that's Tor Stoneson. That's what I'm going to say his name is. Attacking midfield left. Looks okay, I suppose. Greg Johnson on loan from Man United is another centre back. Possibly a backup, an 18-year-old. Tarek Al Said. Now here we go. This is going to obviously be their marquee signing. A striker. 21-year-old Egyptian striker on £64,000 a week in the Championship. So he's going to be the player that's going to take them up. But a striker with a finishing rating of 9. What's his heading rating? 11. If I was them, I wouldn't be overly excited about that. Someone who's only played 31 senior games, and they paid 22.5 million for him. I don't know about that one. Marvin Williams, midfield centre. Okay. Victor Jensen, attacking midfield, left, right. Oh, no, a versatile player. Now that's someone who will make a good squad player. He's obviously played a few times for Leeds and Swansea and Rangers. Well. An ex-Rangers player. That'll go down well on the blue side of Glasgow, I'm sure. So there you go. They've made some signings, a few quite underwhelming, a few they've paid a lot of money for. Well, one in particular they paid an awful lot of money for. That, again, is underwhelming. But hopefully we'll be wrong about it. And they'll have a good season. Like I say, they've had a reasonably good start, and they've beaten Swansea already. They've drawn against 3 teams they would have probably thought they'd beat. So I don't know. I think looking at the games they've played and the results they've got, I think Rangers will probably be slightly more happier with the start that they've made. But talking about Rangers, their finances are now secure. So I'm getting the feeling they've sold more than what they've bought. Well, they've sold 20 million's worth. They've spent 23 million. Maybe their season ticket money going in and everything like that. There's an awful lot of players to look at there. So we got down to Jacob Anyewu the last time. He's on loan. He scored 4 goals for them already. I noticed that on the player charts. Ryan Powell on loan, striker from Chelsea, worth a bit of money. Could be a good one for them. Stuart Hawkins, so another striker. So I think striker was where we were saying that they were falling short. So they're highlighting their issues. Lewis Gibson, a purchase from Fulham, defender left. Yep, could be a good purchase. Alan Coates, midfielder from Leicester. I don't think he'll play a big part. I'm not even going to try with that one. Another central midfielder. So they're getting in these young centre midfielders. Annaborg Gudjonsson, another centre midfielder, attacking midfielder this time. Ed Francis from Millwall, a defender centre. So they're bringing a bit of youth into this, so some fresh young talent. Another left back, 23 years old, Mohamed Abdel Halim, a right back, Mike Nelson, another centre back, 22, Danny Devine, 27, central midfielder, and Istvan Casey, I think I'm going to say his name is, another right back. So I think they've filled out their squad a little bit more, but I think it was the strikers that they were lacking in the last time. Hopefully this time that's not going to be the case. You look at the players they've got rid of. I mean, Lee O'Connor, who was he? 25 years old, centre back. That could cost them potentially. But they haven't let Ollie Watkins now, if I remember right, he was good. Yeah, so he was one of their good players, but he is 29, so maybe the right time to sell him on, make a bit of money out of him. Kyle Dempsey. Like I said, I think they've done quite alright, Rangers, in that. They've highlighted the areas in which they needed to strengthen, and say that they'll be pretty pleased with their start. Celtic will be reasonably pleased with their start, but I say we judge them more effectively on where they are in November, at the end of November. So I bet we take you there, end this episode, and then in the next one we'll conclude the season. But let's see where they are in the end of November. Right then, guys, 30th of November, and yes, this is much, much, much more like it. Celtic and Rangers both sitting in a playoff place. There's a very, very good chance that these two could go up. Only thing is, though, Celtic are 7 points behind top and second. Rangers are 10 points behind top and second. So the automatic places are not exactly guaranteed, but it's going to be a difficult one for them to get into the automatic places. So it could be down to, remember what I said in the last one, a Celtic and Rangers potential, and if it finished exactly like this now, it could potentially be a Celtic versus Rangers playoff final. Imagine that. Celtic have only lost one game, so the draws are killing them at the moment. They've converted some of them into draws. Now, they've beaten Rangers 1-0 away, so they'll be happy about that. But Rangers have won more games than Celtic, but they've lost 6. So the lack of draws is, and the fact that they've won more games is what's keeping them up in that area. But like I say, they've both got another window left, and Celtic are rich still. They've still got money. Rangers are secure still, so they've still got a bit of money. They've established themselves a lot stronger as a championship team. I think League One is not going to happen anymore. My prediction of them being bottom end championship, top end League One is now going to see them as a standard championship club, judging by this. But you never know. I mean, they could end up, if they don't go up this time, they could end up down this end the season after. But I think their size and stature and the fact that being in the English League is filling their bank account a lot more than being in the top end of the Scottish League. I think they're just going to build the capital, and they've got the profile behind them to push to get into that Premier League. I think we could see Rangers in the Premier League, if not the end of this one, the season after. I think Celtic are going to go up this time, but I was wrong last time though, wasn't I? But anyway, guys, we're going to call time on this episode. As usual, thanks for watching. Thanks for keeping up with it. Hope you're all enjoying it as much as I am. And keep with it, guys, because this next episode, the end of the season, could be very, very interesting. So, thank you all. And until the next time, cheerio for now.